right here. This kind of shows you the plexuses, and you'll see you've got a cervical, a brachial, lumbar, and a sacral plexus. So this area would be the sacral plexus. This would be the lumbar plexus. Excuse me, brachial plexus, sorry. Lumbar plexus and sacral plexus. You can see intercostal nerves here too. Okay. The other nerves, you can see some things here. We're going to go through them on better models, but here is like, for example, your radial nerve, median nerve, ulnar nerve. This is the axillary nerve. This is musculocutaneous. This would be your femoral nerve here. This would be the obturator nerve, and this big one here would be sciatic. So you can see those a little bit there. You know, not that great, but a little bit. But I'm going to show you some better stuff with this model and some of the other stuff that we have here. So, first off, any of the spinal nerves, you should be able to name which one it is. So, for example, if I have a tag on this spinal nerve, you would tell me what spinal nerve is that.
C7.
I got C7. Everybody agree with that? Okay. So how you got to figure that out is, remember, cervical spinal nerves come out above the vertebrae. So really you got to figure out what vertebrae is that or that one, okay? And so there's two ways to do it. One way would be to, I'll keep my finger there, is to count. And a lot of people come up here and start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they would say that that's the 6th cervical, but they would be wrong. And the reason they'd be wrong is because that is not a vertebrae. That is your occipital bone. There's your first vertebrae. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is C5. Now on this model, an easier way to do that is go to the thoracic and look at the ribs. Here's the first rib. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's the 12th rib. So this is T1. That's T12. And so you can just count back. This is T1. That's C7, C6, C5. So that's a little more easier way. Now with that said, which spinal nerve is this? I heard L4, S4. So there's T12, and so what vertebrae is that? 1, 2, 3. And remember, thoracic down, it comes out below, so that is L3.
L3, okay.
Okay, so looking back up here, here's the first thoracic vertebrae, T1. So this is T1 right here. And so that makes that C8. And there's C7 coming out above the C7 vertebrae. Okay, so remember, cervical, it's named after the vertebrae above, everything below the vertebrae below. Okay, so again, T12 would be right here then. Okay, so that's how you name those. Now, cervical plexus is C1 through C5, and the nerve you need to know on there, you can see listed as your phrenic nerve, and that's this nerve right here on top of the anterior scalene. You see it right there? See it right here. Okay, that's your phrenic nerve. What muscle does that innervate? Your diaphragm, exactly. It does not innervate the anterior scalene. Okay, we okay with that? So that's your cervical plexus. Next is your brachial plexus. And the brachial plexus has, remember, trunks and cords. Okay? So here is C5 and C6 forming the superior trunk. C7 forming the middle trunk. C8 and T1 forming the inferior trunk. So again, this is superior trunk, middle trunk, inferior trunk. These would be the divisions, anterior, posterior. You don't see them very good, but now these are the cords. And you have a medial cord, a lateral cord, and a posterior cord. So which cord is this?
Posterior?
I heard medial, I heard posterior. Anybody want to say lateral? Okay, so just think of your arm like this in the anatomical position, but now you went like this. So what side of the arm is this? Medial. And this side is So this one would be then what? Medial. That would be,
Lateral. Oh,
and that would be posterior.
Okay.
And then what we're going to see what these nerves turn into in a few minutes, okay, the named nerves. Coming down here, here are your intercostals, okay? And you can see them in here too. All your intercostals, okay? The yellow ones. Over here you can see an intercostal here, the gray one. Okay? Down here you can see the sacral plexus on this side. Okay. So that's that. Coming down now to the lumbar plexus right here, the two nerves you need to know that is the femoral nerve and the obturator nerve. This here is the femoral nerve right here. This one is the obturator. Over here is the psoas major muscle is on here. It's taken off here. And so this is your femoral nerve here, and here is your obturator here. And I'm going to show that to you better on the leg, okay? This here is your sacral plexus down here. And the nerve you need to know here is this big one right here with my Q-tip on and my finger here. And that's your sciatic nerve. Your sciatic nerve there and there. We okay with this? Okay. I'm going to come back and show you the arms now. Let me take this back.